A woman will never walk up to you and announce that she has decided she wants you. That is not how female communication operates. That is not how it has ever operated. Instead, she will do something far more subtle and far more revealing. She will show you through physical signals so specific and so consistent that once you learn to read them, you will never again sit in a conversation with a woman wondering whether she is interested. You will simply know. Here's the part that will probably frustrate you when you hear it. Women send an average of 5 attraction signals before a man notices even the first one. 5. That means by the time you are sitting there thinking she might possibly be interested, she has already been broadcasting it clearly for the past 20 minutes. And these signals are not hidden. They are not subtle in the way people use that word to mean difficult to detect. They are occurring right in front of you, often within arm's reach. The reason most men miss them is not that they are hard to see. It is that nobody ever taught men what they are looking for, and the most revealing signals, the ones that carry the most honest information about what she is actually feeling, come from her hands. Not her eyes, not her smile. Her hands. Because hands are the one part of the body that most people forget to consciously control. Your face can manufacture a polite expression. Your voice can perform enthusiasm it does not feel. But your hands operate on a completely different level. They are connected to the oldest parts of the brain. The parts that react before conscious thought has any chance to intervene. That is what makes them so reliable. That is what makes them so revealing. And that is why understanding them gives you a clarity in reading. Attraction that most men never develop. Today, we are going through 8 hand signals that reveal when a woman has decided she is attracted to you. 8 physical cues that most men walk right past without registering a single one. And the 8th signal on this list is the most important of all. The one that separates genuine invitation from ambiguous interest. And the one that tells you the decision has already been made. Stay with me through every point because each one builds on the last dot signal one, the hair touch with the scent. Almost every woman does this without any conscious awareness that she is doing it. When a woman is attracted to you, her hand moves toward her hair. But here's the specific detail that most explanations miss entirely. It is not just any hair touch. There is a particular variation that signals genuine attraction rather than simple grooming. She reaches up, touches her hair near the side of her face or behind her ear, and then lets her hand slowly descend down toward her neck or collarbone. That trailing motion is everything. A woman who is simply adjusting her hair touches it, fixes it, and moves on. A woman who is attracted to you lets her hand linger. She slows the movement down. She is subconsciously drawing your attention to her neck, one of the most vulnerable areas of the human body. In psychology, exposing the neck is a primal trust signal. Her body is communicating something her words have not yet formed. I feel safe here. I'm open to what might happen if her hand keeps floating up to her hair and drifting slowly down to her neck during their conversation. That is not nervous energy. That is an invitation. And if you do not respond to it, if you keep talking without acknowledging the shift in energy, she will assume you are not receiving what she is sending. And she will quietly redirect that energy elsewhere. Signal 2, object displacement. This one is subtle in a way that trips most men up because it looks like nothing when a woman slowly runs her fingers along an object near her. The stem of a wine glass, the edge of a coffee cup, the strap of her bag, the corner of a menu. She is doing something psychologists call tactile displacement. She wants to touch you. The social context has not yet created the opening for that. So her hands transfer that impulse onto the nearest available object. Her body is so drawn to your presence that it has to touch something simply to manage the physical tension building in the interaction. Most men see this and think she is fidgeting or bored. She is neither. She is managing attraction she cannot yet directly express. The object is standing in for you, receiving the attention that she actually wants to give to you, but has not yet found the moment to offer. Signal 3. Arm contact initiation. When a woman deliberately touches your arm during conversation, she has crossed a significant threshold. Physical touch is the most intentional signal in her communication because it requires her to actively override the boundary of personal space. Women do not casually touch people they feel nothing toward. If she places her hand on your forearm while laughing at something you said, that is not accidental. If she taps your shoulder to emphasize a point, that is not simply animated conversation. That is her testing what happens when she makes contact. She is watching how you respond. Do you lean into it? Do you pull back? Do you reciprocate? Your response in that moment tells her everything she needs to know about whether it is safe to continue moving forward. And here is what most men miss. If she touches your arm once, she's interested. If she touches it twice, she's very interested. Snorts. If she touches it 3 times and you've still not reciprocated or acknowledged it in any way, she will begin to question whether you are even present in the interaction. And once that question forms, the attraction begins to cool. Signal 4, the open palm display. This one moves beneath almost every man's radar entirely. When a woman shows you her open palms, gesturing while talking with her palms facing you, resting her hands on the table face upward, passing you something with a deliberate palm-up presentation, she's communicating openness and trust at a level that operates below conscious thought. Closed palms, hands tucked away, fists or hidden hands all signal guarded energy and emotional distance. Open palms facing toward you are the body's way of saying, I have nothing to conceal. I'm completely receptive to you right now. This signal traces back to the earliest human behavior, where showing open palms communicated the absence of threat and the presence of peaceful intention. It is deeply hardwired. And most women who do this are entirely unaware of it. Her attraction to you has activated a trust response her conscious mind is not directing. That is precisely what makes it so reliable. Signal 5. Finger graze contact. When a woman finds a reason to make contact with your hand, comparing hand sizes, brushing her fingers against yours while passing you something, any reason that creates that specific point of contact, she's made her decision. Hand-to-hand contact is one of the most intimate forms of non-romantic touch that exist. The concentration of nerve endings in the hands means that when her fingers graze yours, both of your nervous systems register it immediately. She feels it. You feel it. She knows you feel it. And this is where so many men completely fumble the moment. She creates that tiny electrical bridge between her body and yours. And he pulls his hand away, flinches, rushes past it, breaks the spell before it has had time to form. When she touches your hand, stay there. Do not rush away from the contact. Let it breathe for a moment. If you can receive that contact with calm, unhurried confidence, she will recognize something in you that she has been looking for. Signal 6, wrist exposure. The inner wrist is one of the most physically vulnerable areas of the body. The skin is thin. Veins are visible. And historically, it has been associated with vulnerability in the deepest sense. When a woman exposes her inner wrist to you, resting her arms on a table with wrists facing upward, adjusting a bracelet and letting her wrist linger in your line of sight, resting her chin on her hand with her wrists turned toward you, she is sending a primal signal of trust, exposing vulnerable parts of the body to another person. Communicates something that language cannot produce. With the same authenticity, I trust you enough to show you what is unprotected in me. This signal emerges from instinct rather than calculation. It almost cannot be faked, which means when you see it, you are seeing something entirely genuine. Signal 7, the mirror touch response. This is the signal that reveals not just attraction, but readiness for things to move forward. When you touch her lightly and respectfully, testing the water, and she mirrors that touch back to you. She's not simply accepting the contact, she is amplifying it. You touch her forearm while making a point, and moments later, her hand finds your forearm in the same way. You brush her shoulder as you walk, and she leans slightly into that contact rather than away from it. Mirroring is one of the most documented indicators of genuine rapport and mutual interest in all of nonverbal communication research. When it happens with physical touch specifically, it is her confirmation. Yes, I this, keep going. Pay attention to whether your touch is mirrored. If it is, that is a clear signal. If it is not, that is information too. Either way, you are no longer guessing. Signal 8, sustained hand placement. This is the most powerful signal on this entire list, and it is the one that separates genuine invitation from everything that came before it. When a woman places her hand somewhere on or near you and leaves it there, resting her hand on your knee during conversation, placing it on your chest while laughing, keeping her hand on your back as you walk together, she has moved beyond testing anything. She's making a statement. Brief touch can be playful or accidental. Sustained contact,